Many have said this is the most wonderful time of the year, and why wouldn't it be? It's officially SINMAS, baby! That's right, today marks the first day of the third annual 12 Days of SINMAS. In case you're unaware, the 12 Days of SINMAS is a yearly tradition where I upload 12 videos in the 12 days leading up to Christmas. And my gift to you for day one of the 12 Days of SINMAS is an apron. Time to get back in the kitchen, bitch. After you checked out my limited edition 12 Days of SINMAS collection at hellosinners.com, available until December 24th at 11:59 p.m. PST. That's hellosinners.com. All right. Besides a shameless merch plug, there is no better way to ring in the SINMAS season than by visiting my old friends at Truly. I would consider Truly YouTube's version of TLC, if that tells you anything. Last time, we followed a traditional couple where the husband gave his wife homework as a form of punishment. I'm still perplexed to this day. We're about to check out another traditional couple, only this time, the husband pays his wife $100 a week to be the homemaker. Right off the bat, Queen, you are absolutely undercharging. I think a lot of people underestimate the amount of work that goes into being a stay-at-home spouse, much less a stay-at-home parent. Oh my God. You're basically working like 6 jobs and you can never clock out. Woo! As unappealing as the traditional lifestyle is for me, I do have a lot of respect for all the stay-at-home partners holding down the household. And if it's an arrangement that works well in your relationship, more power to you. Though I'm definitely not afraid to critique the lifestyle, and I'll be doing a lot of that today. That being said, let's see what Truly has in store for us. Truly. See, I get why they named it that. Clever.
My husband employs me to take care of the home, and I encourage other women to pursue the same dynamic for their future financial success.
So he employs you, but you only make quote unquote $100 a week. I think teenagers at like McDonald's make more than you. Bestie, you need to know your worth. Your work in the household is invaluable. You deserve at least $1,000 a week.
Didn't even know I wanted a traditional relationship where there were gender separations.
I earn more now married than I did when I was in the military, and it's the best job I've ever had. There are feminists on Reddit who hate me, most of which are single over the age of 30.
Hi, feminist here. I would like to chime in. I'm not single and I'm only 26. So, care to explain that? Why do feminists hate you, ma'am? I'm pretty sure this woman is an influencer, so it's like, technically you're not a stay-at-home wife. You just work from home. And you also happen to be a homemaker. You have 2 full-time jobs. Yep, she's an influencer. Want to destroy a family? Here's how. How do we destroy a family?
Here are 3 ways you can make sure that you hate being a mom. That way,
okay, I am obsessed with the zoom-ins.
you can complain about it online and scare other women who don't even have children yet from ever experiencing the joys that you experience intermittently but denied publicly. Number 1, work a 40-hour work week to a thankless boss. That way, if push comes to shove and they want to replace you tomorrow, they absolutely do, and then you'll be further stressed with that burden on top of motherhood.
Oh my gosh. I don't know how controversial I want to get off the bat. Keep in mind, I am a lesbian. I've never been in a long-term relationship with a man. So take what I say with a grain of salt. These trad influencers want to say that, you know, being a stay-at-home parent, being a stay-at-home wife is the best thing that's ever happened to them. It's all they want. It's God's calling for them. But a lot of them tend to self-report. I have seen countless videos of trad wives and even trad husbands who admit that the man does not put a lot of work into the household, if at all. Like, a lot of the time, it's the woman who is doing most of the homemaking, most of the child rearing, cooking, cleaning, you name it, and the man is not contributing to any of it because it's not his job, it's not his role, it's not his purpose, even though he is also a fully grown adult living in that house, and his children and the home is also his responsibility. And the way they describe the average traditional dynamic is just not appealing to me. It seems like hell. There's a reason why antidepressant usage was sky high in the 50s among housewives. Like, none of you make it sound appealing. And it's like, yeah, working a full-time job for 40 hours a week isn't appealing. I don't think most of us dream of labor, but that sounds a lot better to me than taking care of a man-child for 168 hours a week who refuses to pull his weight in the household. I don't know, that's just me. It works for some people. Clearly, I am not the target demographic. It's feminism though, right? God forbid feminists let women know that their purpose isn't to just be barefoot and pregnant. Before we continue, I'd like to thank Book of the Month, who are kindly sponsoring today's video. As someone who's chronically online for a living, I value my offline hobbies very much, and one of those hobbies includes reading. One of my goals for 2025 is to expand my reading horizons, and I'm constantly seeking diverse book recommendations, which is why I love Book of the Month. They are a monthly subscription service where readers can select from a short list of the best new fiction titles to receive in the mail. They offer books from a variety of genres and authors, so there's always a little something for everyone. This month, I received 2 books, and I'm so excited to share them with you. The first one is Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. This novel is about a man whose wife mysteriously disappears one day, only to meet a woman who looks exactly like his missing wife a year later. I've been wanting to read more thrillers, so I'm looking forward to diving into this very soon. And the second book I received is Homeseeking by Carissa Chen. First things first, can we get a little commotion for the cover? Like, this is just so gorgeous. Homeseeking takes place in 1940s Shanghai and follows Hai Wen and Suchi, childhood friends turned lovers. After Hai Wen secretly joins the military to protect his brother from the draft, the two are forced apart until they are reunited 60 years later. I already know this book is gonna make me cry. I'll have to make sure to have a pack of tissues on deck when I'm reading this. These 2 books don't come out until January 2025, and the only reason why I got them early is because of Book of the Month. So if you want to give the perfect gift to the book lover in your life this SINMAS season, and perhaps that book lover is you, head to bookofthemonth.com and use code TINSEL at checkout to get $5 off your first book. Where else can you find a deal like that? And if you enroll now, you can receive a free gift while supplies last, like this adorable seasonal sticker pack. Again, make sure to use code TINSEL at checkout to get $5 off your first book at bookofthemonth.com. So thank you to Book of the Month for supporting the channel this SINMAS season. Now let's get back to your scheduled programming.
They called me a white.
Our friend is
Whoa. I highly doubt you're being called a white supremacist just for being a quote-unquote traditional husband. Like, what's really going on here? And also, I didn't point this out earlier, but she says that the people who hate on her on Reddit, the feminists, are all over 30 and single. And like, why is that viewed as a bad thing? Why is proximity to a man indicative of a woman's worth? She's phrasing it as if these feminists can't find a suitable partner. What if they choose to be single? A lot of people are doing that nowadays. You know, people aren't giving into the pressure that you need to get married and have kids before you're 25, before your frontal lobe even develops. There are some people who still seek that lifestyle, and you know what? Good for them, but that's not what everyone wants. Yeah, I don't know why single is being used as a derogatory statement there. Also, being older than 30 isn't a bad thing either. It's not the insult you think it is.
Our friend is coming over to get to the bottom of what his opinion of our relationship is.
I don't view marriage as an economic relationship. That's just not how I would ever choose to describe it.
First of all, love his t-shirt. Not the point. Anyway.
It's a spiritual relationship.
Well, then how do you? Okay, so
It's a spiritual relationship.
Yeah, I find it weird when people view a romantic relationship as just a business transaction, viewing it from a business standpoint. I agree with the guy with the fun t-shirt. Like, there's more to a relationship than what material possessions or money you provide for the other person. Sure, that's important. You know, it's important to be able to take care of your partner in many different ways, but like, that shouldn't be the sole focus of it either. It's like, how do you make each other feel? Do you make each other feel valued, loved, respected? I think that's also just as, if not more important.
We were at the same work for a while, and I ended up becoming single, and I thought he was very attractive. So I shot my shot, and apparently it landed because now I'm married and I have a baby on the way.
We've been together, what, 2.5 years?
So we were engaged and I was going to school. I was also working, but I thought that he was wanting a little bit more attention to the house, to the home, and also, to himself. So I had a sneaking suspicion that it might benefit our relationship if I stayed home.
I have a lot to say. I think dropping out of school for a partner is a red flag. Period. I understand school's not for everyone, and there are many reasons why one would drop out. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Life takes us in different directions. Our interests and desires change as we get older. But Alyssa specifically said that the reason why she dropped out is so that she could take care of him, so that she could be a homemaker for him. I don't know, something about that just rubs me the wrong way. And it's like you weren't even married at this point, so you didn't even have like a legal cushion to fall back on just in case if things go south. I'm glad it worked out. Of course, I hope they have a healthy and successful relationship. Like, it's her choice and other factors could have gone into this decision, but I don't think it's wise to drop a career or your education for a partner. Unless it's like excruciating circumstances, like if they're sick or something. But like, oh my God, like quitting just so you could pick up after a man is wild to me. I'm sorry.
I didn't even know I wanted a traditional relationship. I, honest to God, thought that I wanted a physicist triathlete. So until I got into a relationship with Allie, I didn't even know how wonderful having a traditional relationship where there were gender separations.
I didn't realize how wonderful it would be to have this woman clean up after me like I was a toddler. I don't know, last time I checked, being a man doesn't mean you can opt out of contributing to the household. You're contributing financially and that's great, but what are you doing beyond that? Like, are you still taking things off your wife's plate to make her life a little easier at home? I guess we'll see.
Was that if I sucked at being a homemaker that I would go back to work, but I did not suck. I wouldn't say I'm a feminist at all. I think that feminism was all bad. Men love women so much that they would have liberated us after they were fully liberated anyway.
Yeah, okay, girl. You are lying through your teeth. No, I don't think men would have liberated us. If anything, it seems like we're going backward, especially after this election. Conservatism is on the rise. I see endless discourse about repealing the 19th Amendment on Twitter. And of course, the wackadoos on Twitter don't represent the general population, but a lot of this discussion is coming from Gen Z. And it's scary to see how young men and young women in particular are moving backwards. They're going back to the traditional lifestyle that, is notorious for oppressing women. Like, how are millennials more progressive than us? And that's no diss to millennials. I just hate how we as a society are taking a step back. And now teenage boys and young men are being indoctrinated by people like Andrew Tate and Fresh and Fit. And they're gonna grow up to be these raging misogynists who think they're owed a woman, who think they're owed a traditional relationship. I don't know, it's scary to see. Like I said, if you want to pursue this kind of relationship with your partner, that is totally fine. But the choice should be there. And while Allie claimed that she chose this lifestyle, I just think the way it went about screams red flag to me.
I am just of the opinion that feminism was completely unnecessary and that it's a female supremacy movement.
But if it weren't for feminism, you wouldn't have been able to choose to step away from your education because you would have just been forced to be a homemaker. It is because of feminism that you were able to make that decision. Feminism is why you're able to vote. Feminism is why you're allowed to have a public platform on social media. Feminism is why you're able to speak for yourself on camera. Don't get me wrong, I do think there are very valid critiques when it comes to feminism, specifically radical feminism, but she believes feminism as a whole is bad. Or female supremacy movement is what she said. Feminism is not female supremacy. It should be an intersectional movement. And it seems like we're going very backwards. She really said trees for deforestation, but the leopard would never eat her face, right?
So I do most of the cooking and cleaning. I do most of the laundry as well. He works for a long time. Sometimes it's 10 hours a day. So I just take care of the house while he's gone.
Couldn't be me. I think it's awesome that she's willing to take things off her husband's plate while he works. But like, there's been so many red flags so far, and I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop.
I earn more now married than I did when I was in the military, and it's the best job I've ever had. I would probably be considered on his bankroll. He pays for my living. There's a health insurance plan.
I basically said, hey, look, how much money do you need per week to do fun things? She said, I need $100 for my snacks and my coffee. And I'm like, okay. We got rid of all of her credit cards. We opened up new credit cards under my account. And so now I can see all of her purchases, and she's very disciplined.
And there it is, folks. Okay, we have a lot to unpack here. It seems like she enjoys the traditional lifestyle. Great. And since we're working in this dynamic, it's good to see that he's stepping up in his role as the provider. But are you really making money if you don't have control over any of your finances? Canceling all her credit cards so you can bring her under your account is wild to me, though. This might be controversial, but you shouldn't be fully financially dependent on your partner. You need to have a way out. And if you don't have a bank account or a credit card to your name, God forbid if shit goes south, it's going to be really hard to find a way out. I think joint accounts can make sense in a relationship. Like you have your own separate accounts, but you also have a joint account for bills, the mortgage, vacation funds, emergencies. I think that makes sense. But you should also have some money in your own name. It's just looking out for yourself. And although she seems happy, like I said, I hate that she's promoting this lifestyle, saying that she's making money. But the difference between Allie and a regular housewife is that she is an influencer. And I assume she's making money off of that. Like you could still make some decent money with 200,000 subscribers. So Allie would have something to fall back on. She has that extra income. Granted, it goes to their joint account and he ultimately has control over it, but she's still making money. And this bothers me because 99% of the people that are watching her aren't influencers. They don't have an influencer career as a backup. And in my opinion, it's really dangerous to hand over complete control of your bank accounts to your partner. I don't care what the genders are in this case. It would be toxic if it was a woman taking control of the man's finances. It would be a problem if it was in a gay relationship. Like, ultimately, it's not safe.
I don't want to drain my husband. I know some wives, they don't have a conscience with that, but I would prefer if I never had to look at a screen about dollars ever.
Honestly, that's valid. Anything with finances and numbers makes my head spin. Math was not my subject in school. It wasn't until like high school, maybe. Geometry kicked my ass. Not the point, though. But that doesn't mean you should just cancel all of your credit cards and go under his. You should still have at least a little bit to your name. Why are you promoting this to women? Feminism is bad, but this is fine?
Today I'm going shopping, obviously on Tom's dime.
She really doesn't ask for a whole lot of stuff that she doesn't need. She's pretty financially disciplined.
The alternative is going to an actual job with an actual boss. Keep in mind, that's a man that doesn't care about you.
I love how she assumes the boss is a man. Talking shit about having a job when she technically does have a job. She's an influencer. She makes digital content, and she is most likely making money off that digital content. That's crazy work.
You clock in, you clock out, you're not on his mind, he would fire you tomorrow. My husband is not going to fire me tomorrow. I think that it's much more romantic than that, but if we have to call it labor, it's not the worst job out there.
Like I said, you can be in a traditional relationship if you want. It's your life, and I know I'm beating a dead horse at this point, but I don't see how this wouldn't form an unhealthy power dynamic between them. Like, yeah, she can ask him to take her out shopping, she can ask him for spending money, for fun money, but at the end of the day, all the financial decisions are on him because all of the finances are in his name.
I haven't received anything but positive feedback from my friends.
They're probably high-fiving you, you know?
Well, okay, I wasn't going to say that, but yeah, there is a lot of that, right? Because all my buddies are in their late 40s, early 50s like myself, and they're like, damn, dude, you got a 27-year-old? I'm like,
I wasn't planning on getting into age gap discourse today, but God works in mysterious ways. I've said in past videos, I don't have a problem with age gap relationships if the younger person is above 25 when they meet, just because 25 is when your frontal lobe is developed and you're able to make decisions. But the way he talks about like, oh, look at me, I scored a 27-year-old wife is so objectifying. She's pretty much a trophy wife. How many red flags are we at? Can we do a red flag tally?
There's been controversy surrounding the age gap. I am 28 years old.
I'm 51.
I think my mom was really worried.
I was wondering, how did you really feel when I started dating Tom?
Just a little skeptical because of the age difference, but
You can tell us what you really thought.
I didn't think it was gonna go. I thought it was just,
I don't know how old her mom is, but she has incredible skin. Like the two can pass as sisters, honestly.
Did you not want it to last? It's okay if you didn't.
Oh, it's either way. I couldn't predict.
How do you feel about me spreading my messages online?
They're a little controversial, but I don't like the comments that some people make. I would just want to go in there and go, ugh.
I mean, it's to be expected. Parents are naturally protective and defensive over their children. I know my parents feel the same way when I tell them about some of the comments I've gotten. She's surely controversial, though. I will agree on that.
Online, I would say that I get the most judgment because I'm a content creator. A woman wanting to work is very different. Why are male sexual appetites suppressed? If you're a feminist at this point in time, you're a clown, right?
Call me Boo Boo the Fool, I guess. Honka honka.
There's a lot of assumptions, right? I do this for a brand. I do this because I'm uneducated. I do this because I'm lazy. And then, there's that fun racial element. My favorite racial joke that I've gotten was lady in the streets colonized in the sheets. I thought that was really creative.
Once you post something to the public, it's in their hands now. On the same token, though, some of the comments can be fucking brutal, and I don't think she deserves harassment. Critiques, yes, none of us are above criticism. But sometimes those anonymous keyboard warriors aren't the nicest.
They also called me a white and I was like, okay, I'm dating a Latina woman and I'm a white
If it's true, if he's being called a white supremacist solely for dating a Latino woman, then yeah, I also think that's dumb. I would agree with him. When you go so far left and now you're on the right, politics is a circle. Oh, I love where I paused. The wage gap is a myth.
I just want women to know that they have other options out there.
And you know why we have those options? Say it with me, y'all. Feminism. You have the option to stay home because of the women who came before you to fight for those rights. How are you not seeing the irony in this? Like, you were able to join the military because of feminism, and you were able to leave the military because of feminism. But as a quick side note, let's see what the people of Reddit are saying about her. Okay, here's something from a couple years ago from r/Fundy Snark Uncensored. Shout out to my besties over there. I love the subreddit. Marry a dangerous man. So this is from her blog, and the title is Marry a Dangerous Man. Maybe don't. Oh, I love this. PSA, I will be doubling down on my takes. Before I had humble doubts about my views. After childbirth, I absolutely do not. Surrogacy is evil, the left is degenerate, and the single and childless are delusional. If you thought I was insufferable before, welcome to Allie 2.0. I love the title. Becoming a mother didn't make Allie Drummond any less of a twat. So she thinks that single and child-free people are delusional. Let's explore the latter for a second. How about people who aren't child-free by choice? The people who do want to have kids, but they're physically unable to, that don't even have the opportunity to become a parent. Does that make them delusional? There are so many reasons why people don't want to have children, and really, it's no one's business. And you know what? I could sit here and say people who choose to have kids they don't really like are delusional.
Sometimes I've been accused of being a gold digger.
She asked for $100 a week. What kind of gold digger wants that?
And that's the problem. You shouldn't have to ask to have access to your money. Like, what's not clicking? Not that your spouse shouldn't have a say in the household's finances. If anything, I do think they should, but it should be even. And having all the money under your name is controlling. I'm sorry.
There's a lot of positive comments from women who feel like they've finally been seen. It's the positive comments that I get from women in that context that really let me know that I'm doing the right thing.
She's just one of many trad wife influencers who doesn't practice what she preaches to a certain degree. How are you going to discourage women from getting a job when you yourself have a job? You're a content creator. Women like Allie B. Stuckey and Candace Owens preach the same thing. Meanwhile, they run businesses and entire YouTube channels. It's really the epitome of do as I say, not as I do.
I know that she has a YouTube channel and that it's pretty successful. From what I understand, she sells the idea that you don't necessarily have to be a professional, that it's okay to be a housewife.
And she's also saying that feminism is bad and career women are delusional. They're all 30-something-year-olds that are single and childless. That sounds good to me. That sounds like heaven. Except the single part. I do love my girlfriend.
Do you think it's wrong for Alyssa to be employed by Tom?
Here's what I think. Hey, here's my offer. I will provide you a home, a house, protection, and provision. What I ask for in return is support, a clean house, so that I can go out into the world and focus on the external world.
I just think that it's the right thing to do to give you a return on investment. If you have to put it in economic terms, fine, but it's just doing the right thing in a marriage. You take care of me, I take care of you.
What are we doing? If I didn't know any better, I would assume they're talking about like trading stocks or something, talking about the shareholders of their company. I don't know. Is love dead? There's nothing more romantic than talking about your relationship in business terms.
It's a good bankroll to be on.
I don't view marriage as an economic relationship. I know that you can analyze it that way.
Just to clarify, how I described it, that's an economic mode.
Yeah, that's an
yeah.
economic way of describing
Because
it.
I didn't know that I was describing it that way.
No, it is.
There is an economic relationship there. That's just not how I would ever choose to describe it. You make a commitment to that other person, right? So that commitment isn't about like, I'm gonna do X, Y, Z in exchange for ABC. You're gonna miss the big picture.
He's kind of eating them up. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't born yesterday. I know there's financial aspects to every relationship, especially when you're married and you live under the same roof and all that jazz. It's just so robotic the way they talk about their relationship. It's like, are you business partners or husband and wife? But I'm just a delusional feminist because I refuse to give up my financial freedom for $100 a week and to pick up after a man.
I've only ever really used an economic lens because, like, literally women would rather, some women these days, they're just completely content to follow the leadership of an employer that doesn't care about them. And if you were to tell them that they could depend on a good man financially, they just would rather stay at that job instead of having to cooperate.
This just in, people have different life goals. As if there aren't thousands of career women who are also family women. You can't do both. No. And she's certainly not doing both. It doesn't count if it's online. What an insult to all the working moms out there, the single working moms out there. A lot of families rely on two incomes to keep a roof over their head, food on the table, clothes on their back. It's expensive nowadays. Not everyone has a partner with a six-figure job. She's just so out of touch with the average person. You're lucky that you're able to survive, to thrive under one income.
Trying to save these women. So these ungrateful women.
Save these women, save these ungrateful women from what? A life of servitude and submission to a man? That sounds like hell. It's fine if you're into that, but the way Allie's wording it, she doesn't want women to have a say.
I'd boil it down to biology. You're never gonna take away the genetics and the biology of it. Because I am in my masculine and I'm able to go out and provide the resources, I feel great.
I didn't realize that the higher your testosterone levels are, the less likely you're able to fold a towel or put a dish in the dishwasher or vacuum your bedroom. We're just learning a bunch of new things today. It's important to learn every day. Life is a lesson.
I think most modern relationships are unhappy. I think men act like women. I think women act like men. And when they get
As they should. If you want, of course. Seems like she hates individuality. There are, 8 billion people on this planet? You think we're all wired the same? Humans have things in common with each other, obviously. But we're also complex beings with the ability to think for ourselves. And it's not crazy to think that 8 billion people want to do 8 billion different things in life.
They have a really unbalanced dynamic. I think the entire culture that we have right now in America wants you to be single, fat, depressed, and childless. So if
Is this a put her finger down challenge? Because I could put my finger down for at least 2 of those. How is it that both partners contributing to the household is a more unhealthy dynamic than one person controlling all of the finances? Tell me. How is that better? So if I have a traditional husband, that means I have to ask him permission to spend money and also pick up after him? Sign me up. And I know it's not the case for every traditional relationship. There's a spectrum to everything. I think a lot of couples, especially heterosexual couples, are traditional to a certain degree. But people, especially women, now have the ability to pick and choose how traditional they want to be. And why is that? I'll let you fill in the blank. But I'm very curious to hear what you have to say on the matter. I know trad wives are the hot topic right now. So leave any and all your thoughts down below. If there's any other trad wife content you think I should talk about, let me know down below as well. And in general, if there's any video idea you want to see from me, I have a Google form in the description where you could submit them. But thank you so much for joining me for the first day of the 12 days of SINMAS. I have some fun stuff planned, and I'm really excited to show it to you. We're gonna end the year strong, sinners. But if you like this video, make sure to give it a tiny, tiny thumbs up and subscribe down below. Thank you to Book of the Month for sponsoring. Remember, code Tinsel at checkout at bookofthemonth.com. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 2. Bye!